Come on, go away. Darlie Key says, "Isn't that sad that they know nothing except lies and can't get a real life? I have every intention to sue a group of them when she's released." Good for you. I think once the news media decided she was guilty, she didn't have a chance. Their hearts are full of hate. That's one of them. Let's look at the other one. I want to be sure people see this. This is in our Facebook group, Justice for Devin and Damon. Right now, we're about 54K members. It's run by Pamela Lakes Collins. She's one of the most knowledgeable on this case as far as Darlie's guilt. She's been attacked over the years. They don't bother her too much anymore. Darlie Key said that she worked for the Rowlett Police Department. She was married to somebody in the DA's office. She's a lawyer herself. Pam knows how to handle them better than I do. So Darlie Key thinks that she can sue. Let's be in hypotheticals. Let's say they come up with some evidence that none of us non-supporters knew about, that wasn't documented anywhere, that shows that she did not commit the crime. Let's just say they come up with that, because that's what they need to get her out. It has to be something that none of us knew about, right? They found something, or a test was done inaccurately, or something. They'd have to find something to get her out. She has to show actual innocence. That means that fingerprint 85J, if it comes back to someone else, it has to have a name on it and a person behind it. They can't just say, "Oh, that's not anybody that didn't belong in the house." No, they can't. It has to have a name. She has to put a name. Not only does she have to prove that she wasn't the intruder, she has to prove who the intruder was in order for the state to release her. So my response to Miss Key, kindly, if I may, they said I've been so nasty to her over the years. Well, she's just so nice, and it's nothing but fluffy kittens and muffins and rainbows. She is a mean woman. She's a force to be reckoned with. Everybody likes to have a tough mother like Darlie Key is, sticking up for her kids. I don't understand, why she writes things like this. Isn't that sad that they know nothing except lies and can't get a real life? I have every intention to sue a group of them when she's released. About, 12, 14 years ago, Darlie Key thought that I was on disability 12, 14 years ago. And I wasn't. I worked hard. I had a good job. But since they know that I'm married, my wife is disabled, they thought, oh, well, they're living off Social Security money. No, she's got cerebral palsy. She has to have it. She can't work. And believe me, with someone without any work credits under her belt trying to apply for Social Security, they're not going to give you very much. She doesn't give very much. But she tried to tell people to call Social Security and say, look, he's on Facebook all the time. He's not disabled. And I wasn't. It's little things like that. She went to the Kaufman police on me and they laughed at her. She's accused me of the crime publicly. She said 85J was my print and she wanted to prove it. She said she wanted to compare my print to 85J. And where was I at on 6/6/96? That's coming from somebody that has life. Now, my response to her was, I read it out. She says she has every intention of suing a group of us. Just like she had every intention of suing the Rowlett Police Department for bugging that grave. Now let me go into this a little bit more. If they would have looked up the law and the dumbass lawyer that they went and bought to try and sue the city of Rowlett and Chris Froush and Jimmy Patterson and Greg Davis, if they would have looked at the law, they would have known that you can't expect privacy in a public setting. So they didn't do their research. He had every right of putting a bug at that grave, just like the supporters that go there, like Rich, and there's been many in the past that will go and take pictures of the grave, put little things on it, and their intention is good. They've got every right to do that because it's in a public setting. She right off the rip looking for money. I want to sue. I want money. This will make me feel better. Money. Let's sue Rowlett. Money. That'll make me feel better. Just as in any criminal case, intent also stands out in civil cases. Now, let's just hypothetically say that Darlie gets released. They prove it. They prove that Darlie didn't do this. They've got undeniable proof that Darlie did not commit this crime. And we all agree. All of us non-supporters are like, well, yeah, I guess that's right. I guess, that makes her innocent. Right? And we all agree. So Darlie Key thinks that she could come and sue me or anyone else that has an opinion about Darlie's guilt. She thinks that she could sue. Well, that's where she's wrong. Because we don't make up any. She could sue if we lie. She could sue if we say, well, Darlie told me she did it. Or she could sue if we lie. But I base my YouTube channel on a very small amount of investigation. I base it on what we have out there already. That was done by the professionals. That's why they try to kill James Cron's credibility. I like how Donnell always calls him a retired consultant. He is not a retired consultant. He's retired from the sheriff's department. And then he worked on his own CSI consulting, but he was not retired. Donnell, they have to kill James Cron's credibility. Now, just because James Cron says something doesn't mean I believe every bit of it. He can make mistakes, sure. All they have to do is show us where he did it. Like some of the officers of this, some of the police things could have been done better in her case. But it comes to they're not making things up. They're not staging evidence. They're not doing that. Darlie did that. Well, she thinks she could sue. We've all been presented with evidence from the state of Texas that guarantees us that she is guilty. Some of us have created video and screenshots of the many lies Miss Key and her family have presented to us publicly that we know are false. It's blatant. There's a lot of us that have caught screenshots of her lying, saying, "Oh, they tried to." Remember the one where she said they tried to land a helicopter into the route in there to get Darlie because they needed to get her out there so badly, but there wasn't room to land one. No, we found out there was never an airship dispatched to that scene. She said, "Oh yeah, they tried to get him in there, yeah." And then Darlie Key used to say, and this is posted. You can look around and find it. I mean, I can show it. She kept saying that the sock was found 96 yards away. That the knife came just 1 centimeter away from Darlie's carotid artery. She says all this stuff. She lies. She's begging the public. Now, she's not begging the public as much now. Matter of fact, I haven't seen her do that at all. But back in the day, before Rich's time, before some of these newer supporters' time, on here was, Darlie needs this much money. Darlie needs that much money. We need to get this test done. We need to pay this attorney. We need about $200,000. We need about $11,000. There was all kinds of posts. I had to stop. Me and another non-supporter who was a supporter at one point, but we had to stop them from taking advantage of Elias saying. Very wealthy guy down in Orlando. And he felt like Darlie was innocent. He had a little lust for her. He had puppy dog eyes for her. But he owned some. He had money. He would send Darlie like $200 every week. Plus, he would pay for things. He would send Darlie Key to the spa. He gave money to some of the supporters who were sick. But he was about to pay $11,000. He was on his way down to pay $11,000 for a test that had already been done. He was going to give it to Darlie, and we stopped him from that. It's all been about money in the beginning, and they don't do that as much as they used to. How can you be asking for $11,000 for a test to be done, then have a picture of yourself in a brand new Corvette, sitting on the back of a Corvette waving to crowds because your husband at the time was the president of the Texas Corvette Club? That's a hell of a hobby. Just about any decent Corvette costs you around in between $20,000 and $150,000. If you're the president of the club, you got more than one. We think that Rob Key was worth a couple $1 million, but she continued to ask the public for money. We have the freedom to express our thoughts about this well-documented case. They always claim we have no lives, blah, blah, blah. We are so intent on killing Darlie, blah, blah, blah. Well, actually, I'm not going to be thrilled if Darlie gets killed. I'm not going to be like, fuck yeah, because that's another human being. That's a life. Sucks. It sucks. But if it has to happen, there's nothing I can do to stop it. Would I press the button? Nope. No, most of us we don't have hate. We have hate more towards the people who continue to lie about this case. Darlie's sitting in her cell. She don't know what we're saying out here. She doesn't know what these supporters are doing. She doesn't know that her sister is out here lying. She doesn't know that. She doesn't know that Rich is publicly telling people. I'll tell you something Darlie Lynn told me. Darlie Lynn told me that she passed out on that porch that night. She passed out on the porch because they were talking about her being unconscious that night at some point. But Darlie Lynn told me she passed out on that porch. But if you read the testimony from two different people that took her to the porch and treated her on the porch, she never passed out. Little things like that. That's an easy lie to catch her. I caught Rich in. Well, she told me that. Well, she's fucking lying to you, buddy. And me and Rich have had personal conversations where I tell him, Rich, you think she's going to tell you the truth? No, Miss Key, you are so very intent on hoping that the world would forget what your daughter has done, that you crucify everyone who thinks on Devin and Damon enough to take a few minutes of their time here and there to present the facts as they stand. and defeat the lies you guys tell in total disregard for those wonderful little boys. See, she's convicted. And that alone should say something.
Welcome to a moment of calmness from One a Day. Wait. Don't zone out yet. One a Day multivitamins help provide nutritional support for your well-being as part of a healthy lifestyle. So whether you're navigating a busy day or seeking quiet reflection, One a Day vitamins are here for you. Choose clarity, choose wellness. Choose One a Day multivitamins. Science that matters for nutritional support. Grab your One a Day vitamins at your favorite retailer today.
She has to understand that it's been proven that Darlie committed this crime. It's been proven over and over and over and over and over, compounded. Everything points back to Darlie. And when it comes to me, myself, this is where me and Darlie Key meet eye to eye. We're both the parents of a child killer. The difference is I won't disregard the child to stick up for my son. I know he did it. Could we go in and pick at his case and look for technicalities and shit like that? Yeah, we could. A couple different things. I'm going to tell you. I'll tell you one thing about my son's case. In my son's case, he came right immediately with us, with denial. Denial that he had done anything to Braden Ferguson. Blamed it on Kelsey. So we were inclined to believe him. At first. I did the right thing because I was running true crime channels back then that focused on the harm to children and stuff. In the Darlie Routier case, some other cases like that. So I did the right thing and went down and got all the evidence I could. By the time he got, it took me about 6 months that he was in, that I knew he wasn't being honest with us. And you can't blame him. Who would want to admit to something like that? It's a mechanism, inside of us to deny. And that's what he did. And I was the first one in my family to go, you know what? He's guilty. We got to stop this. There's people in his family, his grandmother to this day will tell you he didn't do this. His mother knows he did it. But his grandmother, grandfather, he didn't do this. They felt like Kelsey did it. Even with all the evidence, they get angry. But I have to accept the fact that my little boy grew up and did something horrible to Braden Ferguson. Killed him. And that is a fact. I still get grief from people when I have that attitude. And there's people in our family that say, well, he didn't do it. Oh, yes, he did. Yes, he did. Luke knows I know he did. But the fact is I still love him just as much as any other dad would love their son. So my message to Darlie Key would be, from one parent of a child killer to another, you need to get a grip. You can still love her, support her. She has to pay the consequences. I realize that the laws are different in Ohio, and my son possibly could have got the death penalty if he was in Texas. But he ain't never going to get out. BryanSt.John Snyder says to Darlie Key, have you visited the Darlie is Guilty group? They are obsessed with crucifying Darlie. Most have DDS, Darlie Derangement Syndrome. It's sad. No, actually, the reverse psychology is that you guys have the Darlie Derangement Syndrome because we don't buy her shit. You do. We call you being Darlie dusted. She put a little bit of Darlie dust on you. You're hit with everybody's line except for her. Darlie dusted. Dartards. That used to be the name back in the day, Dartards. Even in Darlie's name is a lie. Dare lie. They have no lives and lie. When Darlie Key, the best way to defend your daughter, especially if you want to use social media to do that, is if you see one of us telling a lie, then you calmly and adultly and civilly, even with a little sarcasm, show us where we're lying and how. You don't do that. We catch you in lie after lie after lie. And you know this. See, on this case, Darlie Key, I'm a force to be reckoned with because I know the case and I know your bullshit. I came from the other side. Now, BryanSt.John Snyder. Now, watch this comment. This is how they help us. Supporters have been known to help us prove our points. They make our points for us a lot. They do it a lot. Because they don't have anything else. Darlie Key. Their entire life is consumed by killing Darlie. Some spend every day re-watching videos and proving her guilt. Very sad. From what I've seen, I have doubts. But look at the way they said this. This is what they're talking about. I believe this person is speaking about my reacting to Rich videos where I go in and I find what they're saying to the public. Since we're not able to go over there and have a debate with Rich or even leave a comment, that gets responded to, and Rich isn't confident in us to come to us and show us where we are wrong. He can't do that. So we have to go back and rewatch. I rewatch Rich and I listen to what he said and what he sells to the public. And a lot of it is bullshit. Speculation. That car's in the bottom of Lake Ray Hubbard. That car was registered to Barry Fife and he had it crushed. Well, Rich, if you fucking know that, buddy, if you know that, that means some law enforcement knows that somewhere. Let's look at the logistics of that. People say that there was this car, that car, black car around here, this car. Nobody ever gave a make, a model, a plate number, nothing. Rich said that there was a plate number and a registration to the car. What sense would it make if Barry Fife, let's say, first of all, why would Barry Fife use his own car? Why would he use a car that has his name on it anywhere? Better crush this car. Why would you crush it? You could just take it somewhere and sell it. Why would you crush it? Is there evidence in the car? If you don't want it to be known that you use this car during a murder, either burn it would be one way. Crushing it makes no sense. Oh my God, we got to get rid of this car because they've been on the news and they said there's a black car. Even though they didn't give a make, a model, or license plate number, nothing, we better get rid of this car because they said there was a black car. That's just dumb. There would be no sense in crushing the car. And if you did crush the car, you wouldn't have your name on the bill. You wouldn't have your name on the registration to that car. Duh. But they say some spend every day rewatching videos and proving her guilt. I rewatch videos and I prove you guys to be liars. Don't like it much. Some people don't want to fight with y'all, but we know the truth. Danelle is the worst. That's right, Christine. See, I like Christine. She's tough. She's tough. She'll tell you how she feels. She always has. I like having people like that around me. I don't ride on any hate trains, and I don't ride on any trains. I like to have like-minded people around. Tim Linden, that's our resident. He gives us comedy relief and has for years on this case. Darlie's never getting out alive. And furthermore, last I checked, we all have freedom of speech, and the only ones slandering people are Darlie Key and Detective Dummy. That's the absolute truth, and I've got a lot of that to say. But maybe some money would make Darlie Key feel better. Some money makes it better. That's why they try to sue, Rowlett, Jimmy Patterson, Chris Frost. Yep. I'll be covered under parody law, especially because every single one of them is a joke. Yep. Well, we know Darlie Key talks a lot of shit. She's going to sue a whole group of us when she's released. I'm going to sue you guys for believing what the state of Texas presented to you so many years ago and what this expert said, what this cop said. I'm suing you guys for believing that. The only ones you could sue are the people who put her there, not the people who believe she belongs there. Duh as fuck. Darlie Routier has maintained her innocence since day one. That she was not responsible for the deaths of her two boys. Thursday night, her sister Danelle Stahl-Fugate joins me live at Henry's Majestic, which is a little bar there in Dallas. Actually, it's a big bar there in Dallas, for a candid interview about what the public knows and what the public needs to know about this case. Don't miss it. I've looked for it on Texas Wine and True Crime. Haven't been able to find it yet. I'd like to hear it. I'd like to see what kind of bullshit she told this lady. But this picture, look how that Darlie Key looks like she's pissed off about something right there. Danelle's whispering in Darlie Key's ear what the word superficial means. Dana's like, what the fuck? Darlie's just not all that beautiful to me. I don't understand where people think she's so all that. But I'm looking for this, the Texas Wine and True Crime thing. I want to see that podcast. This is Texas Wine and TrueCrime.com. So far, it doesn't look like they have the interview with Darlie uploaded. I want to hear it. If anybody can find out where to hear that at, please post it in the rooms.
Got him! Got him!